the 22nd Annual Charity and Awards Night 2015. We have come of age. We are now majors, 21 years old, even though this is our 22nd Annual Awards Night. 21 years, I've been a part of it for 21 years. There have been a lot of you who have been part of it for the same 21 years. We look forward to your continued participation and backing of this wonderful, wonderful evening which we have every year, and besides the TANKER Foundation for all its work as well. As always, nothing can ever happen without the blessings of the gods above. Having said that, we will now begin with an invocation. May I call upon Sudha Rao to please come up on stage. And as a difference, we're actually going to be singing an English hymn written by a name which is very, very famous, Rudyard Kipling. Take it away.
Land of our birth, we pledge to thee our love and toil in the years to be, that we may build from age to age an undefiled heritage. Teach us to rule ourselves always, controlled and cleanly night and day, that we may bring, if need arise, no maimed or worthless sacrifice. Teach us the strength that cannot see, by deed or thought to hurt the weak, that under thee we may possess the strength to comfort all distress. Land of our birth, our faith, our pride, for whose dear sake our fathers died. O motherland, we pledge to thee, head, heart, and through the years to be.
May I request all of us to stand for 1 minute to pray for the soul of a person who was part of TANKER, who was instrumental in helping us set up our first dialysis unit, Mr. Sadashivan. Thank you. Just a few words about Mr. Sadashivan. Please sit down. I have to tell you that he was called Mama by all the patients, by the staff, and by everybody who was involved with TANKER. He was a person who came from Sri Lanka and settled here after the disturbances there. And we wanted somebody to help us in setting up our first dialysis unit in premises given to us by Mr. K.P. George. And we just wanted someone who would just be there, someone who we could trust, someone who would set the whole place, get it running, and take care of our patients. So this evening we dedicated to Mr. Sadashivan, Mama as we call him. We pray for his soul, and Mama, thank you wherever you are. I'm sure that you're blessing us, and that all your patients whom you ordered around and who really, really looked up to you and appreciated you will be praying for your soul. Please do bless us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Lata. In continuing with that auspicious beginning that we had, we will now begin this evening in earnest with the lighting of the Kuthavilakku. May I request our chief guest, Dr. Krishnan, IAS, Principal Secretary, Health and Family Welfare Department, Government of Tamil Nadu. Dr. Georgie Abraham, founder of TANKER Foundation. Dr. K.V. Johny, our speaker for today. Mrs. Nalini Venkateshan, trustee, TANKER Foundation. Mr. George M. Jacob, Muthoot Group, to please step forward and let the good work. Ladies and gentlemen, as you're all aware, there is normally two parts to this evening. The Krishnan on TANKER Foundation Endowment lecture, which takes place shortly, followed by the awards presentations, and then, of course, the fun and games begin towards the end of the evening, where all of you can let your hair down and enjoy yourselves, and of course, delve into those deep pockets of yours to continue helping the TANKER Foundation. So without further ado, I'm now going to call upon the founder, trustee, TANKER Foundation, Dr. Georgie Abraham, to welcome.
Good evening. On behalf of the trustees, advisors, and staff of the TANKER Foundation, I welcome you all for the TANKER Award Night today evening. Respected Chief Guest, Dr. Krishnan, Principal Secretary for Health and Family Welfare, Government of Tamil Nadu, who is the Chief Guest, is a driving force who takes on challenges, demands, and excitement. His sincere and honest efforts has undertaken many initiatives in the healthcare sector through implementation of the Honorable Chief Minister's life-saving programs. Sir and Mrs. Radhakrishnan, who is the driving force behind him, I admire your down-to-earth attitude and sincerity in pursuing excellence, and we welcome you, sir. Professor K.V. Johny, who is a clinician and academician par excellence, was instrumental in doing the first successful kidney transplantation in South Asia at the Krishnan Medical College Hospital, Vellore, in 1972. He has enthused many young doctors in achieving their dreams. His high-impact leadership with ethics and values and great culture of creativity with trust and accountability has connected institutions and people from far away, India, Australia, Canada, and Middle East. I welcome you, sir, for the Krishnan lecture. I welcome my Muthoot Jacob, who is known to me, and because he is married to Chennai, so he cannot leave Chennai. Every time he has to be here with his in-laws and his wife, sweet wife, Priyanka. And Mr. Shankar of SIES, members of the Krishnan family, Aima Ambattur, Rotary Club of Ambattur and Madras East, who are our trusted partners in providing and saving lives. My special welcome to MWRT 10, Mr. Gupta and Prasad and Dr. Balahala of the Pioneer Asia Group. Last year on this platform, I appealed to you in 2014 award night to raise funds for setting up dialysis unit at Imphal in the capital of Manipur with a TANKER partnership. Several of you came forward. The machines are being donated by Mr. Samir Maman Maple of MRF Limited, Mr. Kochausef Chittilapalli of VGAT, Mr. Krishnan, Mr. Shekhar from Mumbai, Pankaj is not here, Pankaj is from Larinon, Kamala Krishna Swami, Sudha Rao, Prasad Sanjay are all supporting this. I extend our heartfelt thanks to all for your wonderful gesture and kind-heartedness. Dr. Yamini from Washington, D.C., who is a dermatologist, along with her friends, conducted Indian classic dance performance in 4 various locations in USA, and the last one was in Washington, D.C. in September, and raised funds for the initiative in Imphal. Dr. Yamini and her guru, Dr. Ravi Shankar, God's grace is on you. I welcome all the awardees of today evening, friends, colleagues and people from the media, children from Sankalp. TANKER along with Madras Medical Devices is donating 100 permanent peritoneal dialysis catheters to African dialysis program at a special function at Cape Town in South Africa on the 15th of March on the eve of World Congress of Nephrology. Each catheter is priced in India, in the Indian market, 8,000. As our Honorable Prime Minister Modi has said, we have low-cost labor but excellent workmanship. So this particular initiative has been appreciated by the International Society of Nephrology and the African nephrologists. African countries, especially sub-Saharan, are unable to provide dialysis care to over people in 23 countries. Following a request from International Society of Nephrology, we are privileged to do this donation. TANKER Prevention and Awareness Program is recognized by, through Mrs. Rajalakshmi Ravi at the international forums, and my special thanks to Dr. Saraswati Gopal from United States, Bhabash Papadi from United States, Sudakshana Ghosh from Tanzania, Dr. Kifayat also who came from Pakistan, and Chitrasri and Dr. Philomena Mariadas from MMM Hospital for their continuing support, Dr. Abraham Kurian, Dr. Anand and Dr. Sanjeev Nair for their commitment. Lastly, dear friends, today TANKER is 22nd years old. We are 15 years into the new century. We have all aged, but our youthful enthusiasm and optimism ahead is a dream to fulfill. Quote, to prevent and slow down kidney disease in India, support dialysis and transplantation to all sections of the people, to outreach to Africa and other countries in South Asia, to engage all of you in the shared efforts for a common goal. Thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you, Doctor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for us to hear from our featured speaker for the day. It is for the Krishnan TANKER Foundation Endowment Lecture, the topic being Pioneering Contributions to Nephrology. Before we actually get our speaker on stage to tell you a little bit about him, to introduce him to all of you, I'm going to call upon the trustee, TANKER Foundation, Mr. S.V. Venkatesan, to please step up and do the honors.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to friends of TANKER and other friends here. TANKER Foundation perhaps cannot have a better speaker than Dr. K.V. Johny this evening today to talk about nephrology and also its related aspects. The Krishnan lecture was conceived 7 years ago. We, TANKER Foundation, wanted to spread the knowledge about the kidney disease and also the experience of people both from India and abroad. Some of them were patients, some of them were eminent doctors, some of them were eminent workers in different fields. And this is the 7th lecture being delivered today. The Krishnan family came forward to support this program and they have been continually supporting it, and I thank you for them. Dr. Johny has impeccable credentials, both as what I would say as a nephrologist, as an administrator, as a teacher, as a mentor, and also participating in several international journals, etc., to share his knowledge with the various people. And he is a senior consultant nephrologist and director, board member and chairman of Lakeshore Hospital and Research Center Limited, Kochi, India. And he has held several distinctions in the field of nephrology, in the field of administration. And he has been the recipient of several awards. I would like to mention a few of them. Lifetime Achievement Award and Pioneering Award from the Indian Society of Nephrology for his pioneering contribution to modern nephrology in India. And then recipient of Lifetime Achievement Award from the Indian Society of Organ Transplantation in October 2007 for having performed the first kidney transplantation in India in 1971. and he is the recipient of Scribner Award from the Indian Society of Nephrology for pioneering dialysis in India, and first recipient of Kuller Oration and Gold Medal. And he is also an elected fellow of the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons, Glasgow, Royal College of Physicians, Edinburgh, Royal College of Physicians, London, and Royal College of Physicians, Ireland. And he has set up the large renal dialysis center in India at the Krishnan Medical College, Vellore, India. And he also started the second center for super specialty training in nephrology, leading to Doctor of Medicine in India at the CMC and Vellore in India. And he is part of the editorial board of 5 national and international journals. And he is a member and has leadership roles in 13 national and international organizations. Therefore, we are really honored to have you, sir, today, this evening, to deliver the 7th Krishnan lecture. We welcome you, sir.
I now call our speaker, Dr. K.V. Johny, to please come up on stage and to felicitate him before he actually begins his talk to us. I'm going to call upon Mrs. Rajalakshmi Ravi, Advisory TANKER Foundation, who heads TANKER awareness and screening programs, to please come forward and felicitate our speaker. So if you would please join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, to deliver the Krishnan TANKER Foundation Endowment Lecture, I now hand the floor over to Dr. K.V. Johny.
Very good evening to all of you. Let me at the very outset, Dr. Radhakrishnan, the chief guest of the day, Dr. Georgie Abraham, the founder of TANKER Foundation itself, and all the dignitaries assembled here. For me, it's a big honor and a big privilege to be invited to deliver this lecture and participate in this annual function of the TANKER Foundation. I am very much honored. And I'm also thankful to all the organizers, especially Georgie Abraham, for having invited me to this function. I don't want to take too much of your time, your precious time, but I must confess that I'm not planning to give an international scientific oration. All that I'm hoping or wanting to do is go back to my very fond memories as a nephrologist in India. During the years I served the patients and the students, etc., in this country, it left with me a lot of good memories, and that's what I'm going to share with you this evening. I shall try to be brief, and if I'm giving you a boring lecture, please put up with me. Well, on the screen you can first see the heading Landmarks in Nephrology, which were from Krishnan Medical College Hospital, Vellore, not far away from you, from here. And fortunately, I was very closely associated with this initial contributions in nephrology in India, and so I am very happy to represent the contributions of CMC Hospital Nephrology in India. Well, the very first thing I would like to mention is that, as I'll be going into a little more details later on, but to make the points first, the first hemodialysis unit in India was started by Dr. P. Koshi. You have a point here? You have a point? Oh, yes. No, no. The dialysis unit in India was started and set up by Dr. P. Koshi at CMC Hospital, Vellore. He is in fact my godfather, and he was a professor as well as a physician. His interest initially was diabetes as the specialty in medicine. And he started the dialysis unit because at that time a big VIP of India went into kidney failure and there was no dialysis facility, and he arranged the first kidney unit to be brought to India, which Dr. P. Koshi went to the United States and studied the ways in which it can be operated and set up the dialysis unit in India for the first time. I was fortunate to join his unit very soon after that, and I was with him when Krishnan CMC decided to send me abroad for specialist training in nephrology. For your information, there was no such program in India, nor there was any training activity or postgraduate program there. So I was sent to Australia along with my colleague Dr. Mohan Rao, who was a urologist, to be trained in nephrology and in renal transplantation. And that training took 2 years, and then we returned